Fantastic!
Welcome to Fantastic, where we look over unofficial projects that put the fan back in fantastic. For our debut episode, I'd like to discuss a project I only recently discovered, Spider-Man 94 by Bomb Squad Comics. You may be able to tell from the title that, like X-Men 92, Batman 66, and Wonder Woman 77, this webcomic is a continuation of a classic superhero TV show, in this case, the 94 to 97 Fox Spider-Man cartoon. And yes, the Mendoza listed on the cover is indeed popular Spider-Man YouTuber Godzilla Mendoza, who serves as the comic's writer.
Dude, I keep telling you, I'm not a Spider-Man channel. If I'm a Spider-Man channel, then you're a Mortal Kombat channel.
Oh, fuck. I can't believe you've done this.
For the unfamiliar, the 94 Spider-Man series ended its fifth and final season on a cliffhanger in which Spidey was about to set off on a journey through time and dimensions to save Mary Jane, who had been flung through a portal to parts unknown earlier in the show's run. Unfortunately, the series never had any kind of continuation, even in comic form, despite the X-Men series it shared a universe with getting such. As such, Xavier's friend Dane proposed that they and their other friend Jacob give the show an ending. Xavier writes it, Dane draws it, and Jacob colours it. The comic picks up 6 months after the finale, with Peter beginning his quest proper once a portal device enters his hands. And this is as much as I can discuss without spoiling the 2 issues that have been released thus far. If you have any sort of attachment to this show, do yourself a favour and check it out now. There isn't a whole lot to discuss for now since, again, only 2 issues exist and they released over 6 months apart. Needless to say, it's going to take a while to really get going, but there are things about this comic that make it worth holding out for any fan of the series it's based on. First, the art looks very accurate to the cartoon. There are times when it can look a bit off, and also times when it looks like screenshots from the show were traced or cut out directly, giving it an uncanny look. It can almost look like one of those make-your-own comic/cartoon programs you've seen in the 90s at times. In a way, that carries its own nostalgia factor for that era, similar to how X-Men 92 incorporated elements from 90s X-Men comics as well as the show itself. Tonally, the comic is a tad darker than the show with explicit murder, and this, of course, is to be expected from these things. The target audience is people who grew up on that old show who are adults now. And I feel that it's got just the right balance between being more mature for the audience that grew up on the show and still feeling like that show, which is something mature continuations very rarely get right. And then we have the real story and the promise of it all. After exploring about the only known plot point planned for Season 6, Issue 2 sees the portal device being damaged and flinging Spidey into another universe. He then finds himself face to face with Peter Parker from Spider-Man Unlimited, the direct successor series that also ended on a cliffhanger with no resolution. Ever since news started coming out that the previous live-action Spideys will be making some kind of return in the MCU's third Spider-Man film, this is something I have wanted so desperately for the animated versions as well. Spider-Verse, but the Spideys are all from previous cartoons that need resolution. Especially since there are so many unanswered questions there. Did 94 Spidey ever find MJ? Did Unlimited Spidey ever get home? Did 03 Peter ever become Spider-Man again? These are questions we could actually get answers for, albeit in an unofficial form. But even so, I get the feeling that the answers we'll be given will feel somewhat authentic based on what we've seen so far. Not only do they call back to very specific lines from the show that I can remember, but they also include Easter eggs that imply things only fans of the animated series would understand, but without smugly shoving it in your face to make sure you see what they did. It's just a quick thing, if you get it, you get it, if not, no big deal. You can tell these guys have a ton of respect and adoration for the source material. Well, Xavier wasn't a fan before the project, but he pulled a Harv Bennett and watched every episode in preparation. Legend. Which does make me wonder, is this why Xavier's been watching and reviewing all the Spidey cartoons? Is it all research for Spider-Wars 2, actual closure for the things that have plagued us since 1997? Well played, Xavier. Well played. In summary, if you have any love in your heart for the 94 series, Unlimited, or possibly other cancelled Spidey shows that deserve an ending, go check out Spider-Man 94. It's got a lot of promise. And it's not like Disney's going to give us an official take anytime soon. Nah, they'd rather cross Spidey over with Phineas and Ferb or Jesse of all bloody things. Oh, and if you think the voice acting in the show was bad, because the only clip of it you've seen is that one overacted shocker scene, look up Peter's reaction to the Mary Jane clone dying and tell me it doesn't break your heart. If you liked this video, why not suggest some more really cool fan projects that you think deserve some exposure? If not, then I don't know, go home I guess. Today's recommended playlist is, of course, Xavier's series on all the Spider-Man cartoons. I mean, obviously, right? What else do you expect me to shill here? Come on now.